Yes, sir. What is going on, YouTube? It is your boy D Nally, aka Don Squally, and we are back at it with another Forza Horizon 5 build video. So I hope you guys have been enjoying the installments of Forza Horizon 5. If you guys have Forza Horizon 5, man, I hope you've been enjoying the game. We got a lot more money hacks and free car hacks coming in the near future, but for today's video, if you can tell from the title, we're going to be taking care of a car that I've been wanting to do on the channel for quite some time. Now, for me with this game, I'm always interested in the real life cars, ones that I could actually afford and more than likely drive on a daily basis. And those types of builds always seem to do really well on the channel. So what we're going to do for today's video is jump up inside this F450 Super Duty Platinum. Now, it does come in a number of OEM colors, which we can barely see because it's so dark outside this mofo right now. I think we're gonna start out with this gray color right here. Gonna buy that up for 70,000 credits right quick, and as we often do around this time, jump up into this build. Now, full disclosure, I do already have one of these in my personal fleet. Now the idea with this is I wanted to completely slam this thing because I think this is one of those vehicles that would look super dope slammed, but unfortunately what I have learned from my personal build is that these things do not get low at all. So what I think we might do with this one is actually raise it. We're going to check out a couple of engine options here, even though the 6.7 liter power stroke is probably going to give us a ton of power out of the box once we start modifying it. I think we're going to stick with this powertrain here. Now, obviously, with this thing being a 4x4, if you were to own this vehicle in real life, you'd actually be able to switch between rear-wheel drive and all-wheel drive. But for the sake of this video, since we're only able to choose between all-wheel or rear-wheel, I think I want to get this thing a little bit sideways, man. So we're going to go ahead and throw on this rear-wheel drive drivetrain here. So fun fact, this thing actually has a lip on it, which you can barely see at the bottom there. I actually have the exact same lip on my Toyota Tundra, retrofitted it on there. If you guys do want to see, oh, we got the damn pre-runner set up out here. It's looking pretty dope, but I don't think that's the look we're going to be going for. But yeah, if you guys want to see my actual YouTube channel where I build my actual cars, check out the link in the description, youtube.com/Denali. And subscribe to that one if you haven't already. So as far as the tires go, off-road tire compound would probably be the best for a truck. Even though this is a rear-wheel drive truck, we are going to be lifting it. So I think an off-road race tire is going to be the best bet on this one. Now we're going to go ahead and widen up the track width on this thing, both front and back. Now with the dualies, it looks like it only widens the inner tire, which is a little disappointing. Next up comes the wheel and tire setup. Now, with this being a dually, as you can see, we have a very specific wheel on this thing. I'm going to skim through a couple of options and see if there's even something that I think is going to work for this build. Chances are they're not, with it being a dually. I think these regular wheels are just going to look a little too strange. So after skimming through a couple of options, I think we're going to go with these Work RSZRs here. Now I think once we widen the overall diameter of this tire, I think it's going to look half decent. Ah, man. I was really hoping we can get some big old greasy 24s on this thing, but it's just not looking like... you know, I should have known this coming into this, but I'm just not really digging this wheel and tire combo, especially since we're going to be raising this thing. Like, this is actually a huge disappointment. I think we're just going to stick with the stockies. Let's go ahead and stick with the stocks on here, man. I don't know, like, with this being a dually, I don't think any of these other wheels are actually going to look good. Now, as far as the transmission goes, I am going to leave the stock transmission in here. I think we're going to be okay as far as our gear ratios go. We are going to upgrade the driveline as well as the differential. Do we want an off-road diff or a race diff? Let's go with the off-road diff here. Hopefully we can still get sideways with that differential, man. Let's go ahead and upgrade the brakes for sure. Now here comes the rally springs and dampers, which don't change our ride height at all. Being a stance boy in real life, I also have a G35 and an Ultima, by the way, both stanced out quite nicely, if I do say so myself. Yeah, being a stance boy, this whole build is, I'm not going to lie, slightly disappointing here. But now comes the fun part. I want to completely max out the engine on this truck so we can put it in the title, maxed out. So we're going to go ahead and install pretty much every mod in order to get that maxed out. I'm just interested to see what kind of power this thing can make with all the mods on it. And with that out of the way, as you can see, we are making some serious torque numbers here. Peak horsepower's only gone up about double. But where's that graph that we were just looking at here? But if you can see that graph there, our torque is way up there, maxing out right around 3,500 RPM. So that's gonna be, this thing's gonna be a torque monster, and I'm looking forward to seeing what this thing can do drift wise. Now as far as our springs, we're absolutely lifted as high as it's gonna go. Let's see what it'll look like slammed, even though I know slammed isn't actually going to be slammed. Let's see what it looks like lowered here, shall we? I mean, let's be honest, it didn't lower the thing a whole lot, but it does look better than it did when it was raised. So we're going to go ahead and I think leave that tuning setup on here. Now we may have to come back and make some adjustments based on just the overall power that we have. We may actually have to put on a transmission on here just so we can mess around with the gearing there, because this thing I can't imagine is going to be geared for very high speeds. So now that we got that out of the way, it's time to pick a color. Now I'm interested in an OEM plus color, I guess you could say. Now there are not too many colors on here that I think suit this truck. Like purple definitely doesn't. Blue, usually when I do like a rice style of build, I'll add on one of these super flashy colors. Oh, the orange actually doesn't look too bad on there. Let's go ahead and drop that yellowish orange on here. I think that's gonna look pretty fire. As far as the wheels go, I'm thinking we'll probably black them out. Just do some straight rugged black spray paint on here. Brakes, I don't think we're gonna be able to see the brakes through these massive wheels here. Oh yeah, you can see them in there. We're gonna go ahead and paint them up, even though it looks like they're actually on fire here. And as far as the tinted windows goes, well, we want tinted windows, so we're going to go ahead and tint those up. Now that we got that out of the way, this thing is definitely looking the part, looking like an absolute beast. I do, however, want to redo our platinum, I guess you could say, emblem cover on the back. So we'll go ahead and take care of that right now. Just going to add a vinyl shape. We're just basically redoing our platinum logo on the back there, just because I think with the platinums, that's something that should not be painted. It just makes the car look that much. You know you're driving a platinum when you see that, right? Wouldn't want to be mistaken for driving a base model F450, probably only like 60 grand as opposed to $75,000. But now that we got this thing all taken care of, it is time to take this thing out on the road. Now as you can see, the sun is shining, things are looking good, and we have a fully maxed out rear wheel drive F450 here. So let's see what this thing can do. Now big torque, keep in mind this is still an extremely heavy vehicle, and we have a disconnected controller as per usual. If that's not the most annoying thing in the world, I don't know what is. So let's see, second gear up into third. Lots of torque, but surprisingly, I mean, I'm assuming just because this is such a heavy vehicle that our acceleration is really not what I was expecting for something with so much torque here. Now we are in a 6-speed transmission here. If we can get this thing up over 250. Oh, looking like we're maxing out about 215 there. So there's a possibility that this thing could need a transmission upgrade. I mean, very rarely are we going to have this thing going its max speed. In my opinion, this thing is more of just a slow cruiser having fun. I was expecting a little bit more from the Power Stroke, I'm not going to lie. Thing's still boogies, there's no question about that. Doesn't handle at all, though. There's no handling happening here. If that's what you're building this thing for, you might want to pick a different vehicle. Doesn't even really drift that much, if I can be honest with you guys. Let's see, do we got a parking lot over here? It looks like a gravel parking lot. I was hoping, oh, we do have a little jump there, though. Dare we do a jump in our F450? Let's see if we can do some donies in this little parking area here. It's just not doing donuts, folks. There's way too much grip from those dualies. Oh, are we getting there sideways? Not really. More of like a rolling burnout. What an absolute beast. So, after driving this thing for the short amount of time that I have, I'm not even sure what the point of this truck is in this game. Because if you're building this to win races, there's a good chance you're not going to win any races because it's so big. If you're building it to off-road, I mean, the power's just not there as far as off-roading goes. See our drift. If you're using it to drift, well, that's definitely no good. Let's see how it is off-road here. Rear-wheel drive, keep in mind here. Failed the old drift zone, that's okay. One thing I will say is it hits that red line very fast. If you're not paying attention, you're going to be banking her off the red line like all the time. Catching some air there, that's pretty cool / unrealistic, especially in a lowered F450 to be catching that much air. But let's be honest, there are portions of this game that are not that realistic. What are these knuckleheads doing, man? Freaking Bronco boy over here and Land Rover Defender. Can you guys get the hell out of the road, please? Thank you very much. But yeah, overall, I mean, if you just want a truck that looks dope, you know, is fun to cruise around in. I've said it before and I'll say it again. I do have the most fun in the, you know, I do have the most fun in slow vehicles, driving them fast. Usually because they're easier to handle when you're driving a slow vehicle fast. This one here is just because, well, it's a slow vehicle and it's a slow vehicle. I mean, it's not fast at all. It doesn't handle, it doesn't maneuver. Let's see if we can get that top speed here. 225, almost 25 kilometers an hour to get that top speed here. I'm pretty impressed with this thing. Not because of the speed or anything, just because, I mean, let's be honest, man. It's an F350 in Forza, or an F450, I should say, in Forza. The thing's absolutely magnificent. But I am thinking we are probably going to put an end. If I can get that alert out of my screen, that would really be awesome. Yeah, overall, pretty pleased with this build. I do like the way that it looks. We're going to reset our cosmetic damage on there. I do like, here's a good look at that lip. I do have this lip on my Toyota Tundra retrofitted, so if you guys do want to see any of it, don't forget to hit that link down in the description, man. But yeah, I'm thinking we are probably going to put an end to this video. So if you guys did enjoy this one, don't forget to smash that like button. If you guys want to see more and you're not subscribed yet, definitely do so. We got a lot more coming in the near future. And with that being said, I'm your boy D-Nally, a.k.a. Don Squally. And we gonna catch y'all mofos at the next one, man. Peace. Don't die. Oh shit, where you going, bro? Don't be creeping on my friend. Don't be creeping on my friend. You and your homie. Oh, nut shot. Nut shot. Oh, buddy. Let's go. And your boy, man. Get him out of here. Oh, fucking. Oh, my God.